us already from RRQ Akira, and of course for Flux Esports and how they're going to go about this. And once again, what a fantastic look at the stage here as we get ready to load into the land of Dawn for this game number 1 in this best of 2. Very crucial matchups here to round out Group A, as again, by the end of the day, we know where these teams are going to fall into place, the top 2. Now jumping into it, we have to see exactly what they want to do with this lineup, how they want to utilize the picks that they went with. Great inputs again from the analyst stand there, but man, RRQ Akira, I love what they're doing. They have a great front line with this. I'm just wondering how they'll be able to utilize the back line later on. But we know Gusta Lagusta, man, he loves this Claude pick, rolls with it. You can also see some of the emblems they're rolling with. Nothing too crazy just yet, like we've seen in the past. But so far, lane's kind of already falling into place here.
Slowly but surely, I think in this matchup, it'll come down to the mid control. I think for the most part, in day number 1, we saw that whoever got mid prio, they just have so much to play with in the game. They're actually able to dictate the game. And RRQ Akira, hey, game number 2, that was exactly how they were able to pop off, beat EVO's glory at their own game. But something I do want to talk a little bit about is this gold lane matchup for Gusta Lagusta. Sunshine's going to have a better time here on the Moskov compared to the Claude, and you can already see Gusta getting punished by that Spear of Misery. He's already used the regen too, so he's going to be forced to recall. As we do get a pause here, nice. So we do get some time to talk about the drafts again. I heard Wolf and LaFell, was it? They liked Fireflux's draft a bit better.
Yeah, they did. You know, again, when you look at both lineups here, you kind of have to think about where those power spikes are going to be for them. You know, we get a little climb, break, dominate by KitKat again for this as we get a breather. But so since we get to talk about the lineups, like I said, with Gusta Lagusta picking up this Claude pick, we know he needs time, you know, but I think time is what they can buy with the lineup they brought. Again, Fredrin has been up for debate since we've seen more assassins rise into the jungle, be prioritized by a lot of teams. But I don't know, man. I'm still kind of 50-50 with Fredrin now, exactly where he kind of fits into this. Yeah. And, you know, he's still that guy. He's just not on the top like he used to be. I'm talking about 99, 98 contention rate before. But going against with this lineup that they have, the fact that they have a very well-rounded front line that can peel for Gusta Lagusta later on is going to work great for them. And also, we've seen so much of Terizla, man. Terizla has been the, I almost feel like the top better tier XP laner, right? Maybe the top at this point so far from all the international tournaments that we've been watching leading into the mid-season cup. He's the guy that can make a lot of things work, and I don't know exactly what just bumped him up that far, but we know a lot of Yuzhong is popped up. It was banned out in this first game. And going against the Arlot here, same sentiments. You know, Arlot is still a playmaker, but I just feel like right now, Terizla has been on point, and a lot of that just has to do with the penalty zone.
Yeah, I think it's all about the instant initiation in this current meta, right? Because it really is all about committing. When previously, yeah, we still kind of saw the teamfight meta around the lore dances. It's just a bit different now. Back then, you still want to get, you know, the longer team fights with the Edith, the sustain from the Yuzhong, and from other picks like the CC as well. That's why it found so much value as well going up against the tanks, utility in the jungle. But now considering that the tanks have kind of fallen out of the jungle, it's funny I say that, and in this game we have Baksha versus Fredrin again. So it seems, you know, jungle is in a very, very healthy space.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't say the same thing for XP though. Yeah, we've been seeing Terizla, Arlet, Yuzhong maybe. We saw the CC that was brought up by RRQ Akira yesterday, but when we saw just anytime we see a flashy pick XP, it just doesn't work. Benedetta ding, and then CC for Takashi.
Here's the question, man, because I heard you talk about this a little bit on the panel yesterday. Novaria isn't what everyone made it out to be. You know, like with especially with the Wishing Lantern, the added item here for mages. Obviously, she's still a threat. I mean, the biggest thing about Novaria, though, is really just the vision play that you get with it, because it pairs up really well with the, like, already having a Grok on your side who's kind of like this walking vision. You know, he just walks around, does his thing, but you pair it up with a Novaria. I just feel like it gives them a huge advantage in terms of vision that RRQ Akira can play around with and then go from that. So for Fireflux, I feel like one of the parts that they have to deal with is the Lui Yi, the diversion plays we've been talking about since she went and changed and everything else. You know, one of the things that they can do, I feel like, with diversion is just trying to either use it as an escape from the initiations that are most likely going to come from RRQ because of the lineup that they have, or again, follow it through. If you think about it, Arlott and also just having a Baksha in the jungle is tanky enough, and then you have a Lolita. And interestingly, we saw a very good, or I would say interesting build. I'm not sure how often that would pick up for the Lolita, where you just have this massive shield as well, playing into that. But the setup potential, I actually feel like from Flux Esports is actually really good.
I would say for the Lolita build, that should be the normal build that you go to. Maybe if you're losing, you want to go for a little bit more defensive. You know, you want to go for maybe some stats, some raw stats from the physical defense or the magical defense. But for the most part, if you're leading especially, you want to go for that build. With the Flask of the Oasis and the Blood Wings, I think I was exposed to this very early in MPL Indonesia by a player who once won this competition as well, was Drian, who used it. Unfortunately, he didn't know about the new changes to the Lolita. He picked it up against a Franco. And I don't know if you guys know this.
Tell us.
Usually, the Guardian's Bulwark, you can't get through with the Iron Hook, right? You can't get through the Guardian's Bulwark with the Iron Hook. Now you can.
Which is weird, because it's like,
weird.
it's a bulwark, man.
Even he was like, what? When did this change happen? So he had to figure it out the hard way, which is getting hooked and then losing the game.
Which is weird, because it's a bulwark.
Yeah.
Why does the hook, how does an Iron Hook go through that?
Sometimes, you know, Karina does
hook?
magical damage, you know, and she's swinging swords. Sometimes it's just the game logic. It's okay, though, because, yeah, I mean, right now with the Lolita, you actually do get a lot of shielding, right? You can even proc the Flask of the Oasis with your own shield to the rest of the team, so it's really, really cool where the Lolita stands in the meta, especially when you're up against two picks like this from the side of RRQ Akira. They got the Claude and also the Novaria.
Yeah, you're going to get huge value, basically, out of this pick, and, again, part of it is both teams, I would say, honestly, have a ton of setup potential that they can use, ton of peel potential if they want to go that route as well. You know, but as the players kind of get us situated here, once again, as we go on to this, our Kit Kat break here, we want to make sure the players, of course, have the best environment to play on because of what's at stake here. Again, today, I know you guys were watching yesterday and you saw 2 streams going on, but that essentially helped us find placements all for the groups from Group A to Group D. And now that we're at this point, day 1 is all Group A, right? And then each preceding day from now concludes a group. So that's why this is very crucial. And even yesterday, man, they had to fall into place, because if you guys remember, Flux and RRQ Akira met last year in M5, and I believe, if I remember correctly, RRQ beat them 2-1 when they had their best of 3.
Yep.
And we heard them leading into this where they were like, yeah, we want to match up again. You know, this is fate that will have it, because this starting match here could actually decide things already for Group A.
I think it's a very interesting matchup, right? When we're talking about, you know, the previous series, the previous World Championships as well, because it almost seems like it's a rock, paper, scissors kind of scenario. Fireflux will be able to beat Blacklist. Blacklist beats RRQ. RRQ beats Fireflux. So, very interesting matchup. I think for Fireflux especially, though, they usually do struggle against compositions who want to take it from the early game. Compositions want to push the pace, because for them, it's all about getting Rosa into a good point. It's all about also getting Sunshine to a point where you can actually go for damage in the team fight. So it's really mid to late game dependent. Looking at their composition, though, it already feels very different. It almost seems like it's kind of the opposite. For RRQ Akira, it seems they want to be the ones to scale up with the Claude, with the Novaria, and for the side of Fireflux, with how many creative angles you can possibly look for here with Diversion. I'm looking at, you know, a very fast-paced Fireflux, a very new version of Fireflux. Maybe after yesterday going up against NIP Flash, trying to play the same way mid to late, trying to scale up, didn't work out too well. Maybe it's time for them to transition into the early game, which has been working out for a lot of teams, most teams.
Yeah.
All the teams yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say all the teams, you know, it's... In a way, I think we've been talking about this even throughout the wild cards, man. Like, it's a refreshing thing to see, this kind of meta that's setting into place already. And, you know, just yesterday alone, we saw some great picks come up. And I think one pick that is still doing a lot for teams that go ahead and pick it up in the draft is Moskov, man. You know, Moskov, for some reason, even with some of the nerfs that he felt, he's still a monster in the gold lane. You know, he's still a monster when it gets to the late game. I mean, how much did we see even yesterday with the comeback potential? Yeah, with that Moskov pick, you know. So even though Moonton still goes for these changes and everything for this hero, he still shines. And I think, so when you're looking at this comparison of the gold lane, the Mozkov with the Claude, you know that Claude takes some time to build up. Mozkov can actually start to pay a threat already, and I feel like having Lolita helps him have a little more confidence, because if you're really looking at it, you know, you're relying on that, being able to play behind that bulwark. You can play around that, and then, of course, you have a diversion to kind of help you get out of the sticky situations too. I think the main point here is also because of how tanky the lineup is across from them, you're going to be hoping that also your Spear of Destruction follow-throughs are going to be on point, because we saw yesterday how crucial games can fall apart if a Spear of Destruction does not land where you want it, or if you miss it completely.
I know what you're talking about.
You know
I know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking about,
referencing,
man?
you know, the random Spear of Destruction that flew through mid lane, right?
Down
I think
mid
Trex
lane,
knows
man.
it as well, you know? He's been really depressed about it. He's been talking about it, ranting about that
I
one
was with
shot.
him, man.
Why couldn't he land that, man? It was in the mid lane. They were fighting in the mid lane.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But it looks like we could possibly be jumping back into the game here, and it looks like we are. So, again, jumping into it, it's only under the 4-minute mark. The players got everything situated here and set up with that. So, still, it looks like, too, you know, for both teams, they want to go ahead and just wait for this first objective to come up. Not all these level 4s online just yet. So, as they go ahead and kind of wait for that, this is going to be crucial. Like I said, with this Terizla pick, you need that penalty zone available, but both junglers will go ahead and start this up for now. RQ going to hold this up in front. This is what we see Fredrins do all the time, and pair it up with Luis. Not sure.
Up top, Takashi doing some damage. Alien, going in for the Suns and right into the first blood. Now, Appraiser's Wrath comboing together with the Retribution. Tienzi will be stunned up earlier by Louise, and he'll be able to walk up and flickers out as well. With the power of nature still there, RRQ Akira, that's a turtle traded in for first blood.
Yeah, first blood already, and look at this. Flux Esports actually want to put the pressure further on into the jungle, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to accomplish much with this. RQ pushing them back out, so with that, RRQ Akira gets the first objective, you know, great for them. But at the same time, the scaling here could start to happen for Flux Esports if they're not careful in the exchanges. A lot of just back and forth here. Gusa trying to keep Sunshine there.
Good damage as well by Louise. There's Pure Destruction. Not connecting. Gusta still able to evade away from it here. As Sunshine goes for the shove in the bottom lane, trying to go for that gold crab that Louise is holding onto. But so far, Gusta has been losing out on the trade. Sagan, though, trying to go for the astral shot. But will not be able to find it now, only just helping Gusta to get the gold crab, and he will be able to secure it.
I think it's what you do, man. You know, you just give that best experience to both gold laners if you can here. But Claude, I would say specifically, really needs that time to build up. Got to get those, you know, 3-4 items, the trinity, if you will, for the Claude to really shine in some of these team fights. Because again, with the lineup that Flux Esports has, they can actually try to negate a lot of the overloaded damage from a Blazing Duet if they're all positioned correctly. And it's also just a little bit, I guess you have to say, for the entrance from Gusa has to be very crucial and on point. Okay,
Great Echo. Revealing Alien and Rosa. And King walks up just like that, but still very, very slow game here. In the 6-minute, only 1 kill. They're both still looking to go for these trades, and we do have a look here at the in-game equipment, where it's going to be a corrosion scythe rush for the side of Sunshine. It's a bit different for Gusta. He wants to go for the warrior boots first, but both teams are already trying to go for the second turtle of this game. King first onto it, Takashi right there. Blast going to be charged in by Apex. The flicker as well, but he doesn't find it. Good stun over, but King is still able to get the retribution down. Now with a wild charge, stunning 2 members by Louise. That's only a final slash onto King, and Tienzi is caught all alone. Takashi will decide to back away, and RRQ Akira, super disciplined, takes the dub and walks off.
Very disciplined. Alien, I don't think he's going to really accomplish much. You know, he did get that early kill, but right now for RRQ Akira, holding on to those 2 turtles, get the objective, and like you said, discipline route. They know they don't have to fight. They don't need to get these kills right now because, again, when you're talking about power spikes for RRQ Akira, they needed time for Gusa to play off. And even Saigon, mid lane, Rosa.
Appraiser's Wrath, just a big bonk onto Rosa in the mid lane. Will be their first kill of the game, RRQ Akira.
All right, now they're on the board, right? They got the objectives, they got a kill. Look at the damage already coming out from Saigon, 1 shot. Wow. Able to take almost half the HP away here. So this could also just be in a way, hold on, get the flicker out.
Good maneuvers as well. The penalty zone used up, and It was delayed quite a bit there by the Shield Unity clash, or
DPC.
crash rather. TNZ not able to really find the value there. Meanwhile, King in the bottom lane wants to go for a little bit of pressure down onto Sunshine. They will be able to do that just with the Astral Echo. And man, RRQ Akira, they might be caught by the flanks here. Diversion plays in the back lane, and now it's going to be Gusto who's going to be caught even with the Purify. Apex 47 gets rid of him with the help of Rosa and TNZ. King won't be able to prolong this team fight. Alien has rotated from the XP lane. And it seems for both teams, they will disengage once again. RRQ Akira trying to defend in the bottom lane with a wave already shoving back to them. 4 members of Fireflux still here in the bottom side of the map, but King wants to walk with the Sunshine, goes in for the Retribution. Astral Sphere connects as well. TMZ trying to go for the backup as well. The Purify there will not work for him. It's a wild charge straight to the back to find Sunshine. And it's now a yin-yang reaction to be used
Takashi.
up. King gonna go on for the Sash Appraiser's round. Apex 47 able to displace himself. Takashi with a penalty zone locks them in the back line, and Takashi will be able to get that 1 kill on the board. Apex forced to run away up top. Vengeance forcing a blazing duet now. Alien seems like he's comfortable still going for that trade.
Man, Takashi just taking a journey down to the bottom lane, and now they're going to take the journey up here to the top as the 3rd turtle of this game is up. They could possibly just go ahead and go 3 for 3 with the objectives. They're going to be forced back. TNZ stopped.
Full neutral objective control for RRQ Akira. And just like we saw in turtle number 1, turtle number 2, they're utilizing the turtles, taking it slow, and then going back. Alien still has a little bit of spot. Gets barrier down. Louise trying to go for an angle of attack here. The Vengeance will be able to be used up, but the taunt catches him, and Alien still is able to get out. Gets that Vengeance, a cheeky little one, onto the green camp. And RRQ Akira push the pace now up top, trying to go for the turrets. 3 turtles, 1 big turret for RRQ Akira in the first 9 minutes.
Yep, you can already see that second item picked up here now for Gusta Lagusta. Has the DHS alongside the Golden Staff. Working on the next one. Meanwhile, Sunshine's still working, but look at this.
Louise gets a 2-man wild charge straight into the blazing duet, but the final slash catches them all. Rosa, yin-yang reaction still in the back line, dealing so much damage as Sunshine joins in the fray. Takashi gonna be flanked by Sunshine. It'll only give Rosa some more time to go for a creative angle. Diversion into the back. King gets spotted out, brought back again by the yin-yang reaction into the spears of Sunshine.
What a diversion. This is what we were talking about in the draft. As we take a look at the replay here, look at this initiation. RRQ Akira wanted to fight here and talk about a Spear of Destruction from Sunshine also to join the fight. And watch as that diversion is going to be used. We don't get a look at it, but it was cut. It cut off the retreat from RRQ Akira. Again, Flux Esports really utilizing this lineup that they have. And so this, I feel like, you know, they were kind of falling behind a little bit from RRQ Akira, getting the lead, especially the objectives. But now they've been checked. They don't want to actually continue to make a wrong move like that. You know, they initiated again with a wild charge that they had available to them. And so with that, RRQ Akira finds themselves kind of resetting a little bit. Again, this is a Lord that's coming up in less than 10 seconds. Flux Esports is in a position now because of that last exchange, that last fight. They're good to fight this off if they want to. And it looks like if they want to get a kill early on before they even commit to this first Lord fight, they could surely do that. They're waiting. Also, Alien is almost going to have that flicker available just a couple seconds. We've seen it time and time before. The Arlot can start and win a fight just with initiation. But Lord's already going to be started up by King. And you can see that half health. This is what we see all the time with these Fredrin picks, but Flux Esports will get in position here. Keep an eye on as well where the Spear of Destruction ends up landing.
Poison's right into the Appraiser's Wrath. The final slash unable to displace him in time as Takashi will be isolated in the back line as Apex 47. His Numenon Blast will be canceled out by that barrier on Louise. It'll be a trade once again, Takashi for the Lord. Diversion into the back, just sending TNZ for that flank. Gusta Lagusta trying to go for the clear right now, and you can see there the bounce of the Guardian's Bulwark, sending the Astral Sphere back towards RRQ Akira, but still, for Fireflux, they'll be able to get a trade down in the bottom lane as well. Louise
Sunshine
with the conceal now. It's going to be the Abyss Walker by Sunshine. A Spear of Misery onto King, dealing a whole lot of damage on this Moscow pick. Apex 47 now coming in with a backup, and Sunshine should be able to find the space now to go for the clear on the first Lord.
Alien win for that final slash. Not going to happen, so they're going to clear out that Lord there. But you could see that damage already coming out from Sunshine. Did just pick up the DHS, I believe it was, as well, to kind of round up his 3 core items that he needed. Let's take a look. Okay, Corrosion Scythe, he's got the DHS and the Golden Staff now. Pretty much even. So, you know, at that point, as they clear these minions out, they're going to deal with the Lord. Really, RRQ Akira didn't get that much from this Lord pick. So for that, Flux Esports doing a great job at kind of keeping things under control. Even defensively, the items are already falling into place, and that's going to be crucial for TNZ to be some of that front line for this next fight that does break out in about a minute and a half here. So we'll see. Again, both teams holding on to the Tier 1 mid lane turrets are going to help them out a little bit as well. But you can see the damage being dealt across the board here. Just massive damage coming out from Rosa. Able to provide a lot of support. Oh, Luis.
Still able, with the power of nature. Not there just yet. The wild charge will be used defensively by Luis. Fireflux try to go for that pickoff. And now the Astral Echo does connect onto Rosa. And here it's actually the best possible target you could go for with that Astral Echo, at least at this point, because it does spot out of the diversions. Sagan able to react to it in time. Takashi with the penalty zone locks 2 members down. Apex 47 still in that bush. The Astral Field doing a whole lot of damage as Alien is forced to flicker back out. The Poissons as well from TNZ. No wild charge from Luis. He already used it up earlier. So RRQ Akira cannot force the issue on Fireflux.
Man, it's too bad. I mean, both gold laners just were not there for that fight. Surely someone would have went down, even if that Spear of Destruction ended up landing and then the follow-up came through from Sunshine. But with that, ultimately what it's going to result to is just reset across the board. They prep up for this Lord 30 seconds away. Big items being picked up as well. Now the Wind of Nature available for Sunshine. Can play a little more defensively. Also for Gusta Lugusta, he's going to lock that in very soon too. Divine Glaive also picked up. Now available for Rosa. We were already talking about the damage that Rosa is doing on this Louis pick. It's insanity. And now with the Divine Glaive, it's going to hurt even more. So RRQ Akira, they kind of have to be conscious of that, right? Because diversion play and then the whole interaction, I forgot what Wolf called it, the double vacuum.
Vacuum? Yeah.
Double vacuum, that yin and yang effect. Also on the other side, you can see RRQ Akira. They've got the immortality locked in now, a glowing wand for Saigon. They're going to just fight.
They're able to pay it out now. The wild charge from Luis. Spear of Destruction does connect to the backline. Sunshine takes it. Sagan forced back instantly. The not last able to connect onto King, but it's just King now is a penalty zone. Locks 4 members down. So Gusta Lagusta doing for some more damage, but the Guardian's Bulwark turns all the damage back towards them right as Rosa is still there to dish out the free damage with the yin yang reaction, the dispersions and the rotations. A bit too much for RRQ Akira to handle.
We have not mentioned Apex 47's name too much just yet, but man, that was a Numeron Blast setup with the flicker. We're going to take a look at the replay here. Great response. This is already after it happened. But again, we talked about these small corners. The Luoyi, she's such a threat because of that double vacuum effect that keeps them in, that yin-yang effect that pulls them in. And it's so hard for RRQ Akira to play against that when they're in these tight areas. So as they kind of try to retreat, it's, you know, they're almost trying to retreat to their death. So at this point, Flux Esports now has the Lord on their side. This one definitely will be working it down on that bottom side, trying to get that tier 2 down. RRQ Akira, on the other hand, things are falling into place, but it looks like every single time, item-wise, even with their nearly identical items, I mean, itemization is nothing too drastic of a gold lead for either team. They're having a hard time fighting. And if you look at just the lineup here, that's probably the big case of it. Gusta Lagusta has not had an opportunity yet to really use this Claude for an entry point with the Blazing Duet. And Flux Esports, on the other hand, even if Sunshine isn't there, they have good fighting potential because, like we talked about with Rosa, and now we get some Malefic Roar online. Diversion.
The final slash too, but they're unable to find it. Wild charge by Luis. Straight onto Rosa. Caught in the Appraiser's Wrath too. As Takashi swings the hammer down. Sunshine now joining the fight with the Spear of Destruction as Alien deals with Takashi in the backline. But King gets a 3-man taunt straight into the barrier. Apex 47 going to be trapped and isolated, but still has the Bulwark that's dishing the damage back towards RRQ Akira. Now the Spear connecting onto Apex 47. Sunshine with the Spear of Misery catches them right in the wall, but is unable to finish them off. Great kite back from Flux Esports, but it's also a pretty good shutdown by RRQ.
Yeah, oh my god, both these teams, the team fighting that they have, man, it's absolutely insane. We're going to take a look at the replay again. Great diversion. They collapse down, but this time, RRQ Akira with the help of just being in their base on this side, able to just kind of go for the fight and come out on top, but they couldn't get the kills that they were looking for exactly, and Sunshine luckily was there to help them out as well for Flux Esports. So what it's resulted into is just that tier 2 turret also in that bottom lane. Both teams, you know, holding on to nearly the same amount of pressure when it comes to these itemizations, but the lineup, like I said, with Flux Esports, so far Sunshine has been really hard to get to. And you can see the damage he's even doing to Luis, man. Once he picked out the Malefic Roar, he's already a huge threat, even to Luis, even to Takashi, when they try to initiate with this. I mean, look at the damage taken. You know, and TNZ, like we said, he was getting, he was playing real up front, mid lane. Takashi,
chain CC, penalties on the counts out of them now blast, but it still goes through and it catches the right to the final slash. Sunshine with a spear of destruction to the back line, now wreaking havoc onto RRQ Akira. 2 members taken down, and the Lord enhanced this time. Will be spawning in the game. TNZ will be able to go in with the shield unity, zoning the back line away from the minion waves. That's going to be crashing down. The final slash of his place king right now is that's going to be Rosa with the yin-yang reaction, taking Lagusta out of the fray, out of the play, and out of the land of Dawn. As King tries desperately to go for the 3-man taunt, he does, but he'll pay for it with his life.
That's it.
Sunshine and the Mistwalker to the front again to crack that base open, and it's game 1 over to Flux.
And Flux Esports will take it game number 1 in this best of 2 against RRQ Akira. They met time and time before, and this time they start on the right foot to hope to get to the top of the standings here for, of course, Group A. They're still fighting on. And man, it looks like, again, just the composition here that was brought to light. The Flux Esports really able to just get the team fighting down to a T. And Apex 47, that last Numen on Blast, was just on point. Let's hear what our analysts have to say as we throw it back to them to break down the game.
Thank you very much to our casters, and I gotta say, Wolf, like, letting go of this Lu Yi, the yin-yang reaction, the double vacuum, like, Flux had a tough game, but once Rosa got a good catch, it's all over. Flux took over.
Luis just too strong. We can see this was the first team fight that really turned things around. They were able to invite RRQ Akira into their own box that I always talk about. Their own. It's actually a circle if you think about it. But what I'm saying is that they invited to their own zone that they managed to just pick them apart one by one. And I think that Lolita is such a good pick because it countered the Novaria. At the same time, RRQ Akira were kind of stubborn picking up the Cloud versus Lolita, which I didn't like, and we really feel the the impact of that pick.
And so many of those fights won were Flux and RRQ, you know, getting those fights inside of that jungle, inside of those really tight spaces where Rosa could really just capitalize, get the duality procced, be able to bring everyone together, and you pair that up with eventually giving the time to Sunshine scaling. It was just recipes for disaster for RRQ.
Looking at the itemization here, the one that I really want to talk about is actually Takashi, where we see a lot of Terizlas nowadays. They pick up the War Axe and then picking up the Queen's Wings, but it looks like he went for the traditional build of going full defense except for that Fury Hammer. What do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, I guess he understood the situation where the damage output is going to come from the Cloud. So it's a 4 protect to 1 strategy from RRQ Akira. And he knows this because he needed a Dominance Ice, especially because he knows that Arlet plus Louis is eventually going to be online faster than most. Like, if you're looking at like Assassin plus the marksman kind of composition, the damage count comes late into the game. But in this case, you want to pick up the dominant size first so that you can have a fighting chance in that turtle.
And I feel like this is one of the reasons why Baxia is the best utility jungler now, because you don't have to rush for those items. Sure, you can. It's an option. But the thing is, with Baxia, you have options. If you want to delay it and you want to go for something a little bit more tanky, then you can do that. But we've got to talk about RRQ Akira as well, where honestly it was a close game, right?
I mean, they definitely held down in the early game, securing every single turtle. King played an amazing game in the early game, but then, I mean, Moskov goes butter. You know, Moskov just
he goes butter.
He goes butter. No, man, you let the Moskov scale, and I feel like every time we've seen a Moskov picked, if it gets to the late game, it's GG's.
Yeah, but again, we gotta talk about Fireflux, we got to talk about Rosa, because I feel like Rosa is the MVP for this game, because again, once Rosa gets a lot of those yin-yang reactions, the duality, the double vacuum, whatever you guys want to call it, it's lights out for RRQ Akira. So let's look at our Sony MVP of the game. And we're going to look at the highlights here to refresh ourselves. What really happened in that one?
I have this rule of not picking up the Fredrin when there is Louis, just because Fredrin is always like almost front to back. It's like the bona fide front to back kind of hero, right, in the jungle. And Louis just completely counters that. It's almost always difficult to play the Fredrin in this situation because you're going to be attacking through the duality, which there's really no a legitimate way for you to kind of dodge that. You kind of want to outplay it maybe with the Croc or something. But technically speaking, Rosa will definitely have a great time because there's always someone who can that he can utilize the bounce off of. You know, the dispersion, if I'm thinking. There's a bounce, right? So there's always an avenue for you to bank off your shots just because of the presence of the Fredrin.
And we gotta say, KDA isn't everything because only with 4 KDA, 100% kill participation, Rosa was everywhere during the fight. And again, Rosa is a top mid laner, not just in his region, but I would argue around the globe. Like, Rosa's amazing. Giving him a meta mid laner, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, for a second I was a little worried with Rosa. We didn't see that many diversions coming in the very early game. I kind of want to see, but once Rosa got oiled up, started moving around, was able to really, capitalize on those. I think it took a little bit of time for Fireflux to kind of get in their zone, but once it was there, it felt like there was nothing RQ could do.
Let's talk about Gusta Lagusta, because you were talking about how the Lolita was good going up against the Claude, and we saw a lot of rotations by both roamers actually going to the gold lane.
Yeah.
But again, Gusta Lagusta did not have a good game on the Claude.
Yeah, unfortunately. I kind of thought about the draft, right? When we were predicting some of the picks, I thought it would have been a Roger, so that you're not that concerned about the shields, because you could just go wolf form and then your AOK could go to the backlines. You have the Grok to initiate with you as well as the Teresa, so overall that would have made sense. I did say that the least hero that they should pick up was the Claude because it was completely nullified, but unfortunately they cannot hear me. And maybe they can. But yeah, Gusta Lagusta wasn't set up for success in this game. Maybe because you have the idea of going for BMI into the backlines. That didn't happen because the backlines went to them anyways because of the diversion. But yeah, I think we can judge Gusta Lagusta's performance just because of this game. Because of the fact that he was given a bad hero to start with.
I mean, here's the thing. You learn, you live, you lie. Either ways, I kind of feel like there will be some kind of adjustments coming in from RRQ Akira, but again, this is important for Fireflux, where if they want to stay in the competition, they really need to win the second game. But looking at how RRQ Akira played early as well as the mid game, it's only during the late game that Fireflux was able to really capitalize and use that drive very well, because like you said, Louis is pretty good going up against the Fredrin. I gotta ask, Strex, do you think that there's gonna be any kind of adjustment, doesn't matter coming in from RRQ Akira or Fireflux?
I think that RRQ Akira bans Louis this time.
Yeah.
But again, do they switch sides here? Does RQ take blue side this time? So maybe they leave the Louis open and force Fireflux to ban it. Definitely a big chance of us seeing a different draft overall. Maybe some of the same picks. Maybe some trade-ups in that blue-red, but we'll see.
And honestly, I gotta talk about Takashi because King, I feel like, was very good. He was setting up the fight, he was going in front, he was taunting as many people as he can, but Takashi wasn't really being all that proactive. I don't know, Wolf. Basing on what we've seen Terizla has been doing in day number 1, I felt like Takashi could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe because of the supplements. When you look at the Terizla, sometimes you look at it in a box manner where you're setting up your front lining. Sometimes you look at it in an assassin base where you can jump in and there's someone else to go with you. I think in this particular case, because of the presence of the lead, that's the box type of strategy is difficult because you're always going to be the front line, and at the same time, you're kind of a liability to your team because if you jump in, the Louis will just pop the dispersion, and everyone behind you will receive the damage. You're not gonna feel it, but the others will.
So it's kind of like looking on the outside, it looks like everything is fine, but honestly, there's a battle within. Battle within. Speaking of battle within, we got Soul Vessel Series skins. Amon, a Vessel of the Seed, and Hanabi, Vessel of Rage, are slated for stunning reveals. So don't miss out. Make sure you guys grab those heroes.
Now you're pronouncing it correctly. Amon.
But you like how I transition into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that same way? Is that
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Just like you.
No, you're
No,
beautiful.
you're beautiful. Wolf's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Nice is the most beautiful, man.
Like
that's
Spider-Man meme.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
How about Mirko?
it's honestly nice.
How about Mirko?
No. It's nice because
talking about Mirko,
you know the thing about Nisu? You know one of his favorite words?
What?
Juicing. Juicing, the new mage hero has arrived with her exclusive pack. Get the hero and her ethereal serenity skin during the launch week for only 469 diamonds. You can also get her skin for only 51 diamonds during the first 14 days. Mark your calendars. Make sure you guys get it now.
Another one.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was a great one.
You know what? I've
10 out of 10.
been sleeping on it. When I'm sleeping, this is the things that I dream about. It's like, oh, how am I going to transition for tomorrow? My dreams are weird. That 8 hours of sleep, it
helped.
Well,
it helped.
speaking of dreams, it's Fireflux's dream to win this game. I'm wondering,
Okay.
you know, will they actually be able to pull this off, right? RRQ looked really great yesterday. And if Fireflux does win, what does it mean for, like, Group A here? Does it Fireflux over RRQ? RRQ
Yeah.
took the game out of EVOS. Fireflux
Oh.
lost to NIP
Yeah.
Flash, though.
It might depend on Evo's Glory's performance. I mean, especially
Exactly.
in our ALJ match of the day, if they eventually win against Evo's Glory, that would be great. I think that Fireflux are in a very comfortable spot now, winning one game up against RQ. And if they do bring the momentum when they now go up against Evo's Glory, that will be even better for them.
I mean, like, it really sets up our ALJ match of the day. So I feel like now being the situation that at worst for both teams it's going to be a 1-1. It's really setting up the entire day because we were talking about how if this is a 2-0 for RRQ Akira, it's basically the end for Fireflux. So you know what?
Yeah.
In terms of drama, this is the best they can get.
This is definitely the best they can get.
Yeah.
And I love me some drama.
I love drama, man.
But also I love me some Fireflux. So, you know, I want to see the group get tossed around a little bit. So
You love
I'm-
everything, man.
except for you.
You know what? It's okay. You know what? Like, it's okay for people to hate me because you can't hate someone without loving them first.
That's true.
That's true. But also, not loving someone doesn't mean you hate
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't mean I hate
Like,
you, LaFell.
for example, now, you definitely hate Mirko, right?
110%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are like best friends.
You're like a
We're best friends, yes.
So how does that work?
It's kind of like,
It's like Louis.
you know what?
and-
Watch
It's like
vlog.
Lolita and Fred and Claude.
Shout out to Mirko's vlog. Watch his vlog and then you have a good understanding
Okay, very
of what's going on.
Yeah,
Claude?
like Claude hates Lolita, but if Claude gets the items,
You know
it goes for BMI and Flicker.
Granger's the shot, bounce back.
Yeah.
Like that hurts more. It has a critical damage on it.
So who's the Granger?
Dude, I'm definitely the Lolita.
Okay.
What's the most satisfying skill to bulwark back at somebody?
Oh,
you know,
Dawning
interesting
Light
question.
is mine.
Dawning Light. It
Dawning
is
Light.
Dawning
The
Light.
giant
It is-
ball just...
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Like Dawning Light into a Lord Steel, into a Savage. Good. Dude, legit, I've killed many people with the Bulwark.
Wow.
I've been
So you're
spamming
legit the
Lolitas.
Lolita, okay.
I'm a legit Lolita player. I deflect hate. Because in my life, it's nothing but love, Wolf. Like, my life is...
Yeah, I can see that.
It's very...
I can see that. I can see that.
You can see that? You can see that? I don't have to explain?
Yeah.
There's actually
But what if
something
I
called the
want
LaFell challenge where you just play Lolita, but the only skill you're allowed to use is the bulwark.
The LaFell challenge.
Yeah, you just have to deflect everything.
Okay.
Spread hate, not... Wait, what?
What?
Spread hate, not love?
Spread love, not hate.
Yeah. Hate is
You know
a
what?
player.
Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato.
Hate is a player.
Oh, yeah, that
He's
is
a
right.
player.
That is right.
Yeah.
Spread hate and get beloy.
Stay innocent.
Stay innocent, exactly.
You're right. Yeah. I love
Innocent until proven guilty.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait, we're talking about game number 2, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to game number 2. Louis, guys, yay or nay ban?
Definitely
either
ban.
side, either
Definitely ban.
Definitely.
Unless you're
100%
blue
ban.
side. Unless you're blue side.
But then
Nope.
red side, you got to ban it out, right? So we're jumping straight into the pick of bans here. RRQ Akira
Okay.
is going to be first pick. Fireflux is going to be second pick. The Angela and Moskov has been banned out. The Chip has been banned as well. So Harif, Ling, as well as Louis. These are the
Louis banned.
three heroes that has to be banned, and Louis banned.
Okay, yeah. Now we're pretty normal. I always say like ban Luyin, ban Chip. We're okay. We can play normal MLBB as we would love to see.
Not playing Portal.
Yep. That's true. RQ should be banning out probably the Thursday. Or they want to pick up the Chorizo, perhaps. So they battled Link.
Or Yuzong. We've seen the Teresa, but we haven't seen the Yuzong. It's always banned or just not picked, right?
Very difficult hero to deal with. And honestly, with the meta game that we have right now, where we like marksman most of the time, that's definitely one of the bans. Always.
So with the Lu Yi chip ban, let's say maybe we see a maybe we see the Ling ban, we see possibly Roger or Valentina or something, Aerith as well. It feels like the first pick isn't as devastational as it used to be sometimes. Like, it feels like there's not as many trade-ups if some of these things are banned out. Like, it feels like a lot of teams, we've seen the Valentina picked up front just to see what the other team picks so you can kind of respond when you're on blue side.
Harith is available.
Aerith up front.
For Valentina, right?
I get what you mean, the tricks.
It just doesn't feel as, like, critical.
Yeah, I understand. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. Maybe the best thing is, like, you force your enemies to kind of throw 2 bans. And only one legitimate ban, which is in this case the Faramis. And now you get access to the Harith. Maybe that is the magic of getting the first pick. You have access to the Harith or the Roger. But I would say between the two, I would be more comfortable with the Harith. It's easy to draft around it, you know. And it's a very strong hero. There you go. And this is what makes the Faramis ban really good for Fireflux, because now they can pick up Roger. They're not that scared about that Nether Realm. So it's like Roger and Arlott that they can pick up. Or
what about Valentina?
Roger and Valentina also.
Edith's open too, nice and flexible. They can go Roger, Edith up front, and that gives them tons of flexibility. They can do jungle gold, they can do EXP roam.
There's also that Valentina Edith combo wherein if you pick up the Valentina, if you pick up the Edith, you're not scared of the enemy getting the Valentina, which gives the primal wrath to the Valentina, which is also very strong.
Honestly, looking at the lineup, there is a lot of good picks here where, again, the reason why we're talking about the Valentina is because it is still one of the S tier picks down in mid, and it really becomes between both teams, what do they want to prioritize? And it looks like it is going to be the Roger Valentina, and even though RRQ, they can pick up the Edith, but again, like you said, with the Primal Wrath, can be on the side of Fireflux.
Yeah. So if you pick up the Harith, you're looking for physical damage. Maybe you secure your Turtles now if you're RQ. And Arlott as well, or, you know, interchangeably. Just pick up the Arlott and reserve the Turtles for later. Or take both.
Or Yuzong.
Yuzong is great versus the Roger, but not so much against the Valentina. You don't want to give that Elder Dragon form as well. So I'm thinking Arlott /or Terizla. And maybe get the Fredrin as soon as possible, because Fredrin is a natural answer to the Harith.
Honestly,
Farsa instead.
Something that we do got to talk about is not in the draft. Fireflux roster have been friends for 6 to 7 years. When RRQ Akira's, they have been
6 to 7?
Yeah, RRQ
6 to 7.
6 until 7 years, and RRQ Akira's they've been around for 2 to 3 years.
I'm not very happy of the opening for RRQ. This is what we call the Harry Potter lineup, where it's all just magic. Yeah, it's all magic damage. So you don't have physical damage. This means that Fireflux can easily itemize against it. You can pick up the Edith now if you're Fireflux.
What if you end it so fast? Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Right? You only
have Avada Kedavra there.
Avada Kedavra to the face.
Avada Kedavra, and then just end it in. And the game. Avada Kedavra.
Yeah. Yeah, Harith plus the Baksha is definitely not the best combination there is, but we'll see. Again, Edith is available, Fredrin is also available, Fireflux can easily just take it. Arlott is a good takeaway from RRQ.
I mean, I like the Arlott. I think the Riz or even the Yuzong, I feel like against this against the Farza's been kind of surprisingly very, very good.
I agree.
And the fact that it's not picked more than it is, like, I feel like it could be a staple almost. But also, maybe it's been a while since teams have gone against the Farza, but like the Riz, the Lapu, the Yuzong are all amazing answers to the Farza, and it feels like a lot of teams have been having trouble closing the distance when that Feathered Airstrike comes down.
Yeah. Also great versus the Valentina. I think teams have started to realize the value of the Farsa when the Valentina is picked up. So expect this kind of a duality in the coming matches that we have, like Faramis Valentina and Valentina Farsa. In this case, the CC is right. I don't know how do you actually pronounce CC?
It's actually pronounced as CC.
Yeah,
CC.
And it's funny that she doesn't have any CC.
I mean, like, technically her current call kind of does when you tie up 2 people. They can't run away.
not a hard CC.
Potato,
hard.
potato, tomato, tomato, you know? Same difference.
Same difference?
Technically, slow is a CC.
Who are you, LaFell?
Who are you?
I'm Tony.
Hey, Tony.
I'm Tony. For those
Nice
who
to
know,
meet
they
you,
know.
Tony.
Thank you very much.
All right, turns the action. I think both players will want to get their hands on this hero. I still feel that you can ban out Lapu Lapu, perhaps, or Yuzhong. I think Yuzhong is a good ban for Fireflux because, again, you're looking for the physical damage.
Yeah, true.
You cannot go all Harry Potter here for
What if
RRQ.
they go for something crazy like Paquito? Again, we keep
Paquito's great.
Paquito's great, but no one really picks it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So is he great?
it's better than great.
He's more than great.
You know what? What do we know? You know,
What
we're
do we
just
know?
analysts.
All right, question. Is this Roger going to be jungler gold lane Wolf?
Yeah, at this point, going up against the Harith, I would want it to be... Oh, there it is.
That's the Paquito.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
say
we do
that...
know
Kato.
something. Maybe
Yeah.
we do know something.
I think the Roger is better off in the jungle. If I were just to pick it up, to choose for Fireflux. However, Fireflux is a box kind of team, so I think that they're gonna pick up the utility jungler. I think Fireflux are forced to get the
Adrian?
Fredrin. There you go. The Grok is gonna be picked up. So this is R.EXP for sure. RRQ can pick up the turtles this time. This makes a lot of sense. If they don't pick it up, I'm gonna be so annoyed. But yeah, to counter the Roger,
What if they pick up something like a Benedetta?
that's okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's great. Actually, Takashi also excels in that
That's a good
hero.
one,
So Benedetta or Terizla. And then for their roam, Tiger looks good, but so is the Matilda. But
yeah.
you want to look for sustain going up against Roger so that you're all healed up. And there's the Yuzhong.
Oh yeah, we forgot Yuzong was
Yep.
a band.
And the
And the
Cho.
Cho.
Okay,
Ooh.
yeah, makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're Fireflux, I believe that you want to go for the Fredrin. But I think the Carmilla is also really good for their hero.
Oh, true. Good combinations all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of possibilities. I mean, no, not a whole lot of gold laners banned out. If they want to try to go, I want to see TNZ. I know, like, they've been running the box, but I'm wondering if they're going to test the limit here. We've been seeing the Ruby Gold, but again, Sunshine had such a great game last time on the
Yeah.
gold. They want to probably be able to rely on him. It's always kind of felt like Sunshine and Rosa are the, major damage
Yeah.
carries for the team.
Actually, Julian looks good for Fireflux. Lunox Jungle. Oh no, this is
Lunox
Lunox
Gold.
Gold.
Nox Gold.
Or is it?
I mean, you get the brilliance away from the
Yeah.
Jundo and everything. You get the brilliance
Hey.
away from Dragon.
Okay, I love it because Lunox is traditionally an answer to the Harith.
You know what? To our casters, you guys heard it here. Wolf loves it, and we love you. And that's why we want to hear your beautiful voices. Let's throw it to the casters.
Thank you so much, Tony, Trex, and Wolf. Thank you so much for the breakdowns there. We love it too. You know, the matchup that we're going to see here for a game number 2. Yes, the Lunox in the gold lane against this Harith pick. And I got to say, Mirko, I feel like you already mentioned this. This is RRQ Akira.
This definitely fits RRQ Akira's, style a bit more. They want to go from the early game, set the pace, so that's what I'm expecting from RRQ Akira, unlike game number 1, where they were the ones reacting to the plays.
Well, we're going to jump into it. Land of Dawn again, game number 2. As we get loaded in, we're going to find out if Flux Esports will be able to cap out the series with a 2-0, which would do some interesting things to Group A. Or can RRQ Akira get that point that they need here to 1-1 this series? But right now, things fall into place, of course. I love to see it. TNZ has that Warcry emblem on this Roger. We've seen this time and time again, man. How many times have we seen Roger be successful in the jungle with Warcry? The damage potential is absolutely insanity. And not to mention Sunshine, Lunox in the magic department is going to provide a ton of burst potential that can come through already. We can see this, some early aggression. Apex 47 off a massive game in the previous one. Really able to set the pace on that low lead earlier.
Apex, I think he was able to steal away the orange buff earlier, by the way, right into the bottom side of the map. So, great start by Flux Esports, already stopping that RRQ Akira early game train, as King is going to be, again, a victim of this invasion right into the sun and right into the vengeance resets again. King barriered out of his own jungle to escape. Flicker from Rosa. No, from Alien, actually. To get out, King still going for the farm. Rosa dealing damage back again, forcing King out, and Luis walks up together, goes over to Jikundo onto Apex, but he still has the power of nature, and it allows TNZ to just walk in, claim a creep, and then take everything else in the jungle.
I said this is RRQ Akira. Well, this is Flux Esports, man. Talk about just aggression on this side of the map, really just trying to get any lead that they can, and actually delaying King is enough for them to kind of accomplish that. We'll see how they kind of play around with that first. TNZ has a very little minor lead against King from RRQ Akira. Turtle's now up, so I would say they did enough. Oh.
Shield Unity straight into the Purify, doing a lot of damage on the Lagusta, but now with one right dash, they will be able to claim that kill. It's first blood over to RRQ Akira. But you can see for TNZ in the bottom lane, instantly on the cross-map play, straight into the orange buff as well. So King, he's gonna be quite far behind now. He's already 2 levels down with the orange buff. He might just be 3, bro.
Yeah, this is not the experience you want to have here if you are a jungler. Of course, your buff's just being taken from you. Takashi trying to help, but man, this is going to make it. He's still level 3 at this point, and TNZ's level 6. King is having one rough start right now to this game, and just look at this, still going. Finally going to get that purple buff. But man, talk about a delay, a successful maneuver from Flux Esports to deal with this. And, you know, as things kind of get situated 3 minutes in, they have full control already of the early game because of this. And they'll continue to go ahead and just live in King's jungle at this point. So now King, he's got to rely on the rest of the team from RRQ Akira to help him out. Luis is level 4 now. He has the Way of the Dragon available for him. So they could possibly punish the aggression coming out from Flux Esports if they're able to pull through. The fact that Lagusta got an early kill, got the first blood up top, could help them in terms of scaling with the Harith. We've seen it before. We know that Harith's damage potential is massive. But look at the play here, top side, Rosa.
Apex straight into the wall, charge and a flicker right into the Lycan Pounce. King gonna be falling into that chaos. Damage from Sunshine. Luis tries to go over to Jikundo. TNZ dodges away from it with a Lycan Pounce. Rosa again dealing some damage. Apex goes over the sandwich play. It's a flicker forward now from the side of Fireflux. Sagan gonna be caught right into the claws of TNZ. And RRQ Akira are forced back up top.
This is a, man, this is a different Flux Esports than what we saw even yesterday. Very dominant in this early portion of the game. Total control. As they now have, what, a 3,000-4,000 gold ahead. They're going to get this turret, tier 1. Are they going to get that last shot off? Looks like RRQ Akira keeps him at bay, keeps it alive for a little bit longer. We'll see if they can keep that there, but that turtle is now up for the taking here as we see teams both get situated. King has been able to farm up a little bit, but you can still see Apex 47 really just trying to be you know, his nightmare in this jungle, so to speak. Apex 47 goes in once again, wants to force the retribution. Whoa, Luis goes in.
They're
just to back him off.
They're in a tough spot. You can already see it there now. Chaos Sunshine doing a whole lot of damage on the Lagusta. Even with the and now into the wild charge, straight into the feathered airstrike. Still with the fancy feet, able to dodge away. Now the shield unity from King. Well played by Lagusta. Able to evade from that skirmish.
That was a bob and weave, man, if I've ever seen one. You know, great play there. It was a good decision from Flux Esports, too. They knew that they could put pressure there. They trade, of course. They also finally get that turret on the top side. Luis waiting patiently there, but it's just going to get spotted out. He does have Flicker available and Way of the Dragon. He's going to use it.
Sunshine just diving in with the brilliance as well. The DOT does its work. Now Takashi with the Black Dragon form into the back line. Three-man Petrify, but they have the Purify now as they'll be able to escape for now. King gonna be caught all alone. The Lycan Pounce is enough to deal with him, and that's a 3-for-1 trade despite the big plays being made by RRQ Akira. Alien still wants to push the pressure. Man, he's so annoying on this Arlet.
Yeah, time and time again. And, you know, great usage as well from Rosa, utilizing that Black Dragon form to just kind of front load at that lineup. We're going to take a look at the replay here and how this fell apart. Great setup, though, from, you know, RRQ Akira, Takashi as well, the Petrify, but look at the response here. And this is all just because of how far ahead economically Flux Esports is. You know, for RRQ Akira, they have time to work against this, but how do you get to that point? You know, this point of the game, you're so far behind. Mid-game is scaling hugely in favor of Flux Esports, and now the Sky Piercer gets picked up by TNZ.
Way the Dragon with Jikundo there with Zaman Force as well. The chain CC to lock Apex 47 out. What? Apex is still able to get out with the wild charge. Now Alien gets a 3-man final slash, trying to go for some more damage. But wow, what a great escape by Apex. If Flux take this game, you know what at stake, right?
Yes.
They're all going to be 0 points. They're all going to be tied up. I think except for Flux, who will. No, even then, they lost 0-2 yesterday.
Yeah.
So Group A will legit be 0-0-0-0 if Flux takes this game.
They're well on the way for that. Still doing the same thing here. Apex 47 just playing the game of his life right now for this Grok. And really on point with it. I mean, if you think about it, he hasn't gone down yet. He provides the focusing mark emblem here. We talked about it before, the combinations with the war cry and the focusing mark, you know, 8 plus 6%. That can actually come through if it all lands the right way. But even so, Apex 47, just the fact that he's able to provide a lot of information, a lot of vision, and just be a nuisance to RRQ Akira's King, like he's done his job for the entirety of the game. And really, we haven't even mentioned the wild charge. Yes, he used it defensively early on, but now look at the zoning he's able to do here as they take the tier 1. Guardian Bear gonna be used. King just pushed out of the jungle again.
I mean, look at the level difference, man. He's 4 levels down on TNZ, and now even Takashi goes for Furious Dive, not able to do anything. Goes for Black Dragon form defensively, and even then, shot from the skies. You don't usually see this, you know, on the Black Dragon form, forced back. Gusta Lagusta tanking all those shots from the Feather Airstrike too, as Luis goes in, but Alien is able to react to it properly, flickers out. My goodness, Flux.
That's what I call the athletic flicker.
Athletic.
The timing, that's an athlete right there. Alien on this R-Lot time and time again, able to just, you know, even if it's the final slash usage that he's been doing for the team here to set things up, or Peel has been on point, and now their eyes are set on this tier 2, and even the purple buff King, man, I just feel like he is not having a good time at all on this Baksha. Not going to see any of these buffs right now at this point. Further being gapped here in the jungle as well, so they're going to find themselves in full control once again. Still throughout this game, Lord is up. Flux Esports.
Good way the Dragon onto TNZ, locking them down right into the Lycan pouch. TNZ still able to skip with the wild charge as well. Now trying to bob and weave, but it's going to be Takashi who finds it with the Dragon Tail, and it's great timing for RRQ Akira. Lord #1 spawns in the game, and they finally get King some space to farm.
Okay, that's the small step in the right direction. They need many, many more steps to find themselves winning this game, but RRQ Akira trying to hold on here. And really, if you look at it, break this down, you know, you're almost at the 10-minute mark. First Lord is up. RRQ Akira is down 6,000 gold. You know, they need someone to be able to front line. And that's what's the difficult part about this, because it's Takashi and Luis that has to do that because of how far behind King was. So even if they try to contest this Lord, you know, you don't really have that much frontline ability because your jungler can't even go towards it. Oh.
Rosa gets the Purify down, baits on the way to Dragon. Now TNZ on him, cutting him down right into the wild charge of Apex 47 to lock him out. And just like that, with one final vengeance, Alien takes him down. RRQ Akira, no Louise, and the Lord will be started up. I think it won't just be started, it'll be bursted down, melted to the ground by Sunshine and TNZ.
What is the Lord health when you have this amount of firepower right now? And like I said, oh, final slash.
Displacing King, no wild charge here to follow it up, so does seem like for Flux, it's just a little bit of poke to try to distract them, and TNZ gets the purple buff as well. Still 5 levels ahead of King.
5 levels ahead. You know, unfortunately for King, he's just been dismantled in this game at this point for Flux Esports. And he looks like he actually wants to go for Sunshine.
He's doing quite a bit of damage now. And Luis is going to try to time it properly to go for the Jikundo. He doesn't risk it though. Sunshine will pop the Purify too, just in case he does go for that. And both teams now resetting again. Flux have the Lord in the bottom lane, so they can just go for a siege. But technically for RRQ Akira, they have pretty good wave there, right? They got a Farsa.
Yeah, they have, and I mean, even to the extent to the Harith, right? So they should be able to be okay for this first Lord pushing in. They might lose the tier 2s just because they can't go too far forward from their base, otherwise they're going to get collapsed down on. So they'll go ahead and give the orange buff to Gusta Lagusta. They get ready for this base defense. And we'll see, 8,000 gold ahead right now for Flux Esports. They're going to push it in under the turrets. They want to fight. The shields are going to pop for now. Lord, though, has to be dealt with.
Look at that, how Apex just walked in towards the base turret. And now with the first Lord, they're actually going to try their best to go for even more. One base turret down in the bottom lane. Now looking for the top side of the map as RRQ try to rotate over. King loses half of his HP bar just with a few splashes of damage from Fireflux. Now you definitely see how far ahead they are. 9,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
Gee.
Oh, man. It's at this point, you're trying to think here, really, what can RRQ Akira do? And, oh, Final Slash going to be used again. It's on King, but he should be tanky enough. He's okay. And I think, again, going to the point, it's up to Luis to somehow find a pick. But they don't want it to happen. Look at this.
Slowly but surely, just trying to go for the siege right now as Luis walks up, goes over the way, the try, but it's going to be not the right target to go for, not the right angle as well. He has to flicker out of his own engagement. And Fireflux, they pick up all the dubs. 2 base turrets with the first Lord.
It's a whole lot that Flux Esports is getting. Base nearly fully exposed at this point. They only hold on to the one turret in the mid lane, and so for Flux Esports, that's why you see Rosa feeling really good about it. Just sitting there, TPing in front of the faces of RRQ Akira, and with that, again, you're wondering, for all the people rooting for RRQ Akira, really trying to find out where is that winning condition for them? How can they turn this around? We've seen great comebacks already from yesterday. And really, the answer is just time. You're 13 minutes into the game. You're most likely not even going to contest the next Lord. Look at this. Rosa.
Don't Sagan try to respond to it with another feather airstrike. Now Rosa is just recalling in front of them, waiting Luis out with the Jikundo straight into the sun and the displacement. But there's no follow-up. Even though Sunshine used the chaos there, they try to go for the one shot to Luis. But that's enough.
Yep.
Already super low, can't go for the contest, and now Sunshine just rotates over to TNZ, who is already on the Lord. Wall charge Apex! Straight into the Vengeance now, and it seems like Gusta is going to be walled away. Alien still jumping back and forth with Vengeance, as now it's going to be Rosa and TNZ going for some damage. It's going to be Luis who gets gunned down completely by TNZ. And now they have an enhanced Lord, an advantage as well, one man.
Man, you just got to feel the frustration that Luis is having here, really trying to make things happen, but can't.
Feather airstrike, Rosa in the midst of it all finds the kill with the help of Sunshine as he jumps back into the back line. That's a 5-man petrify, or rather a 4-man, but it's TNZ who claims the kills. They don't even need the enhanced Lord, they'll go straight for the base.
And Flux Esports will go ahead and get the points they needed, 2-0 against the matchup against RRQ Akira. And man, oh man, that will make things very interesting as we go through our matches here for Group A. What a very different Flux Esports we saw